Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and with 34 minutes left until People's Champion Challenge activates, we are going to do the predictions for the Money in the Bank. Let's get this underway. So let's look at what the matches are. We have the men's Money in the Bank, we have the women's Money in the Bank, we have Damien Priest as the world champion defending the title against Seth freaking Rollins. We've got Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental champion defending the title against Braun Breaker. And then we have the six-man tag match of Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens taking on the Bloodline, any three of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tanga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. So, who do we think is going to win? Let's go through them in reverse chronological order. So we've got Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. I think the Bloodline have to win the match to be deemed as a credible threat. I don't think Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, or Kevin Owens lose anything from losing the match, and I think it makes the Bloodline look infinitely more dangerous if they take out three of the biggest names in WWE. And I think it would also set up for Solo Sikoa to fight Cody Rhodes down the line for the championship. And I think that might be something that they are trying to head towards. I know that they're planning to do the Bloodline versus Bloodline match, which is going to be, I think, Roman Reigns and the Usos taking on Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. And then, of course, you've got the likes of The Rock, maybe Sami Zayn rejoining the OG Bloodline. You could even have Seth Rollins teaming up with Roman Reigns. You know, various different versions that could happen there, depending on how many of the new Bloodline they want to add into it and what they want to do with it. So, I think Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tanga Loa, and Jacob Fatu are going to win. It does say any three of those, and I'm wondering if maybe Solo Sikoa is going to stand on the outside, sort of like the manager, kind of like the leader, and have Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu all fight in place. Or it's going to be Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, with Jacob Fatu running around as the Samoan werewolf, as he likes to be called, around ringside, causing havoc and mayhem. And I think it's going to get out of control, and I think there's going to be probably a lot of bloodshed involved, tables broken, and it's going to be quite a chaotic match. Then we've got Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Now, controversial one, but I think Braun Breaker might beat Sami Zayn. They have been booking Braun Breaker to be extremely powerful, to be very strong, and I think it's not outside of the realm of possibility for Braun Breaker to dominate and maybe even have a squash match with Sami Zayn to put him over as this incredibly powerful Intercontinental champion. Not unlike what they did with Gunther winning the Intercontinental Championship. I think this is their chance to make a big star out of Braun Breaker. I think he's already a star right now, but I think he could be a huge deal if they treat this right. So I'm going to put my money on Braun Breaker for that one. Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship, Damien Priest defending against Seth Rollins with the last chance match stipulation for the World Heavyweight Championship. If Priest wins, Rollins will never challenge for the title as long as Priest is champion, which, spoiler, I don't think is going to be very long because I think Gunther is going to win the world title at SummerSlam. But if Rollins wins, then Priest must leave the Judgment Day. I don't see the purpose of having Seth Rollins win the belt for about a month and then lose the belt to Gunther at SummerSlam, because I think Gunther is the next World Heavyweight Champion, and I don't see what Seth Rollins' role is in this. He just seems to have been kind of shoehorned in there, but I think Damien Priest is going to retain. Now let's go on to the Money in the Bank ladder matches. We'll go with the women's match first. It's going to be Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyrie, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. So, let's try and scratch some off that I don't think are going to win. I don't see Naomi, Zoe Stark, or Lyra Valkyrie winning. I think Chelsea Green could be a fun victory, where I could see her dancing around with the briefcase and things. I think Io Sky, it would be a bit strange. Oh, there we go. It'd be a bit strange for her to win the Money in the Bank again and just get the title back. So I think the strong option here is it's Tiffy time. And I think what they're planning to do, what I would do if I was booking, is Tiffany Stratton would change the Money in the Bank briefcase into a Money in the Bank handbag and have it as sort of a Barbie-like accessory. And Tiffany Stratton would walk around with that in the same way that Otis turned the Money in the Bank briefcase into the Money in the Bank lunchbox. And of course, we've seen the Money in the Bank change into a few things. Brock Lesnar turned it into the Beatbox, or the Beast Box, as he called it. Rob Van Damme was the first one to have his own custom briefcase. Damien Priest became Senior Money in the Bank as opposed to Mr. Money in the Bank. A few different variations like that. And I could see Tiffany Stratton being pretty good for swapping it out for a handbag. And I would like to see her just hold on to the briefcase or the handbag for a good little while. I think that would be a pretty cool, and it would give her an aura even of a threat, to always being lingering over the champion. And the reason why I think the women need to hold on to the briefcase rather than just immediately cash it in is because the men's Money in the Bank briefcase is going to be Jey Uso versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade versus Chad Gable versus LA Knight versus, guess who I'm picking? Drew McIntyre. Aye, that's right, the Scottish psychopath himself. So, I think a lot of people want Jey Uso to win. I don't think they're going to give it to him. I think they're going to make Jey Uso kind of work to get the championship rather than get the briefcase and getting the quick way up. I think it's too early for Carmelo Hayes. I don't see Andrade winning the briefcase. Chad Gable, I think, is currently stuck in this storyline with Otis and maybe the Alpha Academy and maybe the Creed brothers. Maybe it's going to be a new Alpha Academy. That's the kind of thing that I can see happening. And he's also inducted in there with the Wyatts. I could even see, maybe one of the Wyatts appears from the crowd and then Chad Gable gets scared and runs off and, doesn't compete in the Money in the Bank or whatever. LA Knight, I think, is going to be screwed over by Logan Paul. I could see LA Knight climbing the ladder, having his hands pretty much on the briefcase, and then Logan Paul runs out and uses brass knucks and costs LA Knight the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I think the winner is going to be Drew McIntyre. Now, a lot of people may be thinking that Drew McIntyre is probably going to get screwed over and not win the Money in the Bank briefcase by CM Punk. But I think CM Punk is going to screw Drew McIntyre over from cashing in the briefcase. Now, Drew McIntyre has said that he's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and on the same night, he's going to cash it in and walk out of Toronto, Canada as the World Heavyweight Champion. But I think either CM Punk, or even if they're running with the storyline that CM Punk's still injured, I think possibly even AJ Lee, CM Punk's real-life wife, and of course former wrestler AJ Lee, could be the one that actually screws over DM Hunk on behalf of CM Punk. Of course, I'm talking about Drew McIntyre. And I think the reason why that could possibly happen is because Drew McIntyre stole the bracelet that says AJ and Larry on it. Of course, AJ being in reference to AJ Lee, as opposed to AJ Styles, and Larry, of course, being CM Punk's dog, which are the two most important people, presumably, in CM Punk's life. I mean, if he's wearing them on his wrist, that would make sense. And I could see AJ Lee kind of getting back into the mix and it being a surprise. And also that would then further lead into Drew McIntyre being furious at CM Punk. And then if Drew McIntyre does something or attacks AJ Lee, that would give CM Punk a reason to be absolutely furious and to go after Drew McIntyre. And it could turn into this real heated rivalry. It's already a heated rivalry, but I mean, we could get into mega tier depths of CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. So I think Drew McIntyre is going to win the men's Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it makes sense in my mind for Tiffany Stratton to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. I think Damian Priest is going to defeat Seth Rollins because Damian Priest really needs to kind of look strong. Every single match he's had has either been won through some kind of interference, not necessarily his fault, and he hasn't really looked like a proper world champion since he won it. And if he's losing the belt to Gunther, this is your last chance to really, solidify Damian Priest as a main event player, as opposed to just being a sideline that was holding onto the belt for 6 months until Gunther took it. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I think if Sami Zayn wins, it's not going to do anything for Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's already established. He's already a huge name. He's not really doing an awful lot with the belt either. And I think giving it to Braun Breaker could be a way to push him as a megastar for Braun Breaker. I think it would be foolish not to have one title change. I think that one title change is going to be Braun Breaker beating Sami Zayn. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, I think can lose to the Bloodline without them losing face. So, let's get our predictions underway. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, we're going to put in there as winning, as opposed to Randy Orton. Let's see, Chad Gable isn't winning, Vince isn't even there. We have to go down a bit further just to find people. I don't think Jimmy Uso is winning. Damian Priest is winning. That is fair. He's going to beat Seth Rollins, I reckon. Tiffany Stratton, I think, is going to win the female Money in the Bank. Jey Uso, Undertaker. I just realised, did I say Jimmy Uso earlier? I was referring to Jey Uso, of course. I got my Usos incorrect. Heath Razor, Rhea Ripley, Triple H. Nope. American Nightmare Cody Rhodes is not going to be winning. LA Knight isn't going to be winning either. Nia Jax, nope. Bayley, Io Sky, Drew McIntyre. I think this is a certainty. And so let's see, we've got Drew McIntyre for winning the men's Money in the Bank. We've got Tiffany Stratton for the women's Money in the Bank. We have Damian Priest beating Seth Rollins. So we need a Braun Breaker to beat Sami Zayn, or we need a Solo Sikoa or a Jacob Fatu, which I'm not convinced I have. At least not a high level one. So, that's... We might have to do something out of left field here instead. Yeah, that's all I've got there. Let's take a look at the rest of them. Put in CM Punk. That's a moral victory. That's not a thing. Wow. So no Braun Breakers and no Solo Sikoas? Yeah, that seems like a bit of a misstep. Kadari really needs to make more events of the current roster, I think. Okay, well then... I don't see Chad Gable winning. I don't think Randy Orton's going to win. Who else is even on the card? Jey Uso I don't see winning. Cody isn't winning. I don't think LA Knight is winning the Money in the Bank. I accidentally clicked on LA Knight there. Let's take a quick look at the females. Tiffany Stratton makes sense to me. Though Io Sky has been acting a bit crazy backstage, I just don't see her being the one that wins. But unfortunately, I don't think I have a better choice. So I'm going to put in Io Sky. I would recommend against that if you've got the cards. The ones that I would absolutely put money on are Drew McIntyre winning the men's Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton winning the women's Money in the Bank, Damian Priest defending against Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker beating Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa with Jacob Fatu defeating Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. That is my predictions. So there you are, folks. That is going to be it for this little video. This is our little prediction video. I really hope that you all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.